Yo, what's up, world? Welcome back to the channel. APW Sports signing in, and welcome to the Season 6 finale of Chicago Bears Weekly as we go over the recently released 2023 Bears schedule, and I'm going to give my thoughts on each game. And make sure you guys stay tuned to the end of the video. I'm going to give my way too early win and loss prediction for the Chicago Bears in 2023. But before I get into the entirety of the Chicago Bears schedule, make sure you guys leave this video a like as it continues to help this channel to grow and it beats the algorithm. And if you are one of the people that are not subbed to the channel, make sure you click the subscribe button and notification bell so you will not miss any of the things that I post on this channel. But it's time to go over the Bears schedule. Without further ado, let's dive into it. Today's video is brought to you by ExpressVPN. For me, it is very important to have a VPN to protect my online privacy. It'd be very, very creepy if there was someone out there who kept a log of every single thing that you did online. So why let your internet provider really do that to you online? The best thing to do is to get yourself a VPN, and why not go with the ExpressVPN, the best VPN available. Personally, I like it for the fact that you can unlock Netflix shows that you do not get in the US market. Now, one show that I've started to get myself into is Brooklyn Nine-Nine. You search Brooklyn Nine-Nine in the US, doesn't come up, but you can switch your location to Canada, and you can research Brooklyn Nine-Nine again, and bam, it pops up right then and there, and you can catch up on your episodes of Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Now, if you click the link in the description below, you will get 3 free months of ExpressVPN. Just by clicking the link below and you sign up today, you will get 3 months free of ExpressVPN. All you have to do is click the link down below, and you will get ExpressVPN. Now, let's just get back to the video. Wow. What a way to begin the Bears season. Week 1 of the year, we start off at home against the damn Green Bay Packers. We start off week 1 against them, and it's without Aaron Rodgers. Now, as much as I would love to have seen the Bears beat Aaron Rodgers, it's going to make it sweet still that we get week 1 at home, week 1 against them, Justin Fields against Jordan Love, the new look Green Bay Packers. Now, a little thing about this game is that I believe the Packers probably could take a little bit of a step back without Aaron Rodgers. I think an Aaron Rodgers-led team won a lot of those games last year due to the heroics or the play of Aaron Rodgers. We're going to make to see what Jordan Love is going to be with this Green Bay Packers team. But nonetheless, what a way to start off the Bears in 2023 against Green Bay at home in America's game of the week. What a game. I cannot wait. September 10th, let's go. Now they follow that with week 2 on the road against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers without Tom Brady, and it's probably going to be Baker Mayfield or Kyle Trask. Now, you look at the rest of this Buccaneers roster, you still have a guy like a Mike Evans on your roster, Chris Godwin. You still have a solid defense led by Devin White and Levante David, Carlton Davis, some of those guys on that defensive side of the ball. And Justin Fields and this Bears team is going to have a little bit of a tough test against that solid defense led by Todd Bowles. The Bears defensively, even though it's not Tom Brady, I still think if it was Baker Mayfield, he can be productive with this Bucs team. Kyle Trask, they drafted him, and I think early in 2021, we're still going to make out to see what he's going to be with this football team. When you think about Bears week 2, they're on the road at Tampa. We all know what happened in 2021, but this is an entirely different Bears and Buccaneers team. At this point, I do believe that this Bears team could pull off a victory against the Buccaneers on the road. Now you're heading into week 3. You're heading into enemy territory as the Bears take on the reigning defending Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs, led by Patrick Mahomes. Now, of course, the narrative of this game, a lot of Bears fans are going to say, oh, the Bears could have had Mahomes. we could have had Mahomes instead of Mitchell Trubisky. Let's move all that to the left. This is about the right now. We have Justin Fields as our quarterback, and I'm happy to have him, as you see the jersey, against the defending Super Bowl champion Chiefs. Now, of course, they have that dynamic duo in Mahomes, the reigning league MVP, reigning Super Bowl MVP, and you have Travis Kelce, one of the best tight ends to ever play in the game. Now, the defense is going to be without Frank Clark, and he was a big part of that defense being successful over the past couple of seasons, which led those to 2 Super Bowls in 4 years. But this Bears team, I think this is going to be a very, very tough test on the road at Arrowhead, even with Mato El Nago as the offensive coordinator of the Kansas City Chiefs football team. But I still believe this is going to be a very, very tough football game, week 3 for the Chicago Bears to open up the beginning of their season. Now you're heading into week 4, and you're going to be back home to take on the Sean Payton and Russell Wilson-led Denver Broncos football team, which I think they made a ton of moves to get this football team better. And they getting Javonte Williams back at their running back position. You have Jerry Jeudy. You have a Cortland Sutton. I think this football team on the wide receiver side is a very good football team. And offensively, I think with Sean Payton, against this Bears defense with Eberflus, and I think the corners and Stevenson and Jalen Johnson, Kyler Gordon, they're going to have a little bit of a tough time with some of those receivers and the things that the Broncos can throw at you and things that Sean Payton, I think, can come up with and create. And not only with him as Russell Wilson has mobility. So I think with the Sean Payton-led offense, you're going to probably get to see more of that as they start to get later and later in the season as we play the Denver Broncos in week 4. And their defense has, I think, one of the best corners in football in Patrick Surtain II. So, and one of the better safeties in football in Justin Simmons. This Denver Broncos team is going to be a very tough test in that AFC West. Very tough offense for this Bears team. A nice and solid defense for this Bears team to go up against. Now, as we head into week 5, this is going to be a Thursday night football contest against the Washington Commanders. We had them on Thursday night football last year, and we were a couple of red zone possessions from pulling away with that game, but we ended up losing that football contest to that team last year. Now, they have a lot of question marks, I believe, at their quarterback position, with having a guy like Sam Howell, who's probably going to be the starter coming into this season. And defensively, they have the front 4. Chase Young, when healthy, Jonathan Allen, Montez Sweat, Daron Payne make up a very solid front with Kendall Fuller at the corner. And you have Terry McLaurin, who I think is one of the more underrated wide receivers in football. Yes, I'm a little bit biased. He's an Ohio State Buckeye. He's one of the more underrated players that we have in this game, and we're interested to see what this is going to be with whatever quarterback is going to be in. I think it's going to be Sam Howell, the running game with Robinson, and the running game with Antonio Gibson with this Bears front. So you have some pieces with this Bears team that can really, really work against this Commanders team this season. Now you're going into week 6. You have your first matchup against the reigning defending NFC North champion Minnesota Vikings, who added Jordan Addison in the draft. Even though they lost Adam Thielen, they let him go. I still think this is a really solid Minnesota Vikings offense. Kirk Cousins at earlier parts in 2022 was in the MVP discussion, and I think you have one of the best wide receivers in football to cover, and a guy like Justin Jefferson, which is going to make it tough for this Bears defense to defend. So you have week 1, Green Bay, week 2, Buccaneers, just to recap, week 3, Chiefs, week 4, Broncos, week 5, Commanders, and now week 6 against the Vikings, which is a bit of a tough stretch for a team like the Bears, who was coming off one of the worst seasons in franchise history, earning the number 1 overall pick. And you have the reigning defending NFC North champions week 6, who I think is a very tough matchup for this Chicago Bears football team. I think it's going to be a more improved defense in Minnesota versus you have a very good offense that can score points in bunches. With this Bears defense that, even though they have improved with Edmunds and Edwards and guys at the linebacker position, it's still young. Amongst a lot of the front and amongst the secondary is a very young football team still. Now we're going into week 7 and we're back at home. We're still at home against the Las Vegas Raiders. You have Devontae Adams, minus Darren Waller on offense, Hunter Renfrow, Josh Jacobs, and now you have Jimmy G leading the reign. Now, I've always said that the pick of Tyree Wilson in the first round was kind of questionable when this team still has needs at the cornerback position. Now, I think this is a game to start the week where the Bears offensively, because offenses, I think, take a while, especially when you have a lot of moving pieces and you have a new wide receiver. and I think you're going to open up more of the offense. I think this is the week where you start to see more of the offense being open as far as throwing the football with Fields, and I think they can take advantage of a weakened Las Vegas Raiders secondary. Now you have week 8 against the Los Angeles Chargers, a very tough matchup. You're going up against your old foe in Khalil Mack, Joey Bosa. You have J.C. Jackson back healthy. Derwin James is one of the better safeties, I believe, in the league. Against Justin Herbert and Justin Fields, and now you have to go up against that type of a defense. That offense of the Los Angeles Chargers is nothing to sleep on. You have Herbert at quarterback, Austin Eckler, assuming he doesn't get traded, Keenan Allen, Mike Williams. It is going to be a very solid offense for the Bears to defend, and I think this is going to be a very tough football game as well. Now you have week 9, you're back and still on the road against the New Orleans Saints in the Superdome, going up against the newly acquired Derek Carr-led New Orleans Saints football team. They have a very solid defense led by Jordan, led by Lattimore. Demario Davis has been a very good find for them. Tyrann Mathieu is still on the football team as well as you have an offense with hopefully a healthy Michael Thomas from The Ohio State University, Chris Olave from The Ohio State University at the wide receiver position, Alvin Kamara. They ended up signing Jamal Williams from the Detroit Lions to help boost their running game. So I am going to be a believer that this Saints football team is going to be much improved from where they were in 2022 with just the acquisition of Derek Carr, who I think got a bad rap. I think got a lot of the blame that we had in the Las Vegas Raiders last season. So when you look at this Bears football team going up against the New Orleans Saints, it is still going to be a very tough matchup for this football team, and I think this game could go either way. Now you have the team that the Bears made the first overall pick trade with, and that is the Carolina Panthers, with newly drafted quarterback Bryce Young going up against Justin Fields. Now the Panthers did make quite a few improvements offensively with getting guys like a Miles Sanders from the Eagles. They got Adam Thielen from the Minnesota Vikings, and they ended up drafting Bryce Young to help at their quarterback position. I think this team is still going to be a team that is still in a bit of a rebuild. So when you think about this football team, it is going to be a very tough matchup, but I believe this is a game where the Bears can come out with a W. Now, I'm not going to say my win-loss predictions to the end, but this is going to be a very tough Panthers football team with J.C. Horn, Brian Burns on the defensive side of the ball. This team is still young, but with new head coach Frank White, I think the acquisitions that they made, the moves that they made, and the draft pick of Bryce Young to help him develop, they're going to be on a team that is going to start to rise on the right track, and we're going to get them win there. I believe they're going to start to play their better football in week 10. Next, we have our first matchup against the Detroit Lions on the road, and we're going up against, I believe, one of the more improved teams over the last couple of years in the division. They're going to get Jameson Williams back from suspension. Jared Goff was one of the better quarterbacks last year. They have a very good improved defense with the guy like Aiden Hutchinson, who could have been a rookie of the year at leading your pass rush. So when you have this Detroit Lions football team, it's always going to be a tough matchup. And Lions fans, I've seen them on Twitter, you're starting to get on my nerves. Y'all have one good season, and y'all just think y'all on top of the world. Let's see if you can do that consistently. But this football team, I believe, is a very good football team. I was questioning the pick of Jahmyr Gibbs early in the first round, but I believe at this point, with the trading of DeAndre Swift, is a good move. So the Lions football team, and we have, nonetheless, we're going up against another old foe in David Montgomery. So this is going to be a Lions team who I still think is going to be a very tough team to deal with. Now going into week 12, we're going to have our second matchup against the Minnesota Vikings. We all know the Vikings are a very solid football team. We all know what they're going to be, and this is going to be the second matchup, but this time it's going to be on the road. So interested to see what they're going to be. But week 13, this is the Bears bye week. This is the Bears bye week, week 13. We got it late last year, and we're going to get late again this season. It's going to be interesting to see where the Bears are at this point in week 13. Now we have week 14, and we're going up to another division foe, this time at home against the Detroit Lions. This is another breakout game for Justin Fields. Last year at home against the Lions, even though we didn't come up with the win either in that ball game, this is going to be another tough test, and this is a team that I think the Bears can beat with the much improved roster. Next, we're going against the Cleveland Browns on the road. We all know what happened in 2021. We don't need to go there. So we're going up against Deshaun Watson, another quarterback that the Bears could have had instead of Mitchell Trubisky. I think this is going to be a very tough matchup, and it's interesting to see where the Browns team is going to be at this point. with them being so inconsistent over the past couple of years, despite having the names and the talent to be a very good football team, this is going to be a point where is this Browns football team coming into this matchup against the Chicago Bears? And where are the Bears going to be, especially with the new acquisitions on offense, Chase Claypool? Where are they going to be in week 15 of this really, really tough season that we have coming up for the Bears? Next, we're going to have our first matchup against bird teams, and we're going to have the Arizona Cardinals, who I believe they're in the rebuilding mode. Interesting to see where Kyler Murray is going to be at this point of the season, coming back off the torn ACL that he suffered in 2022. Is DeAndre Hopkins going to be on the team by then, as the trade rumors are starting to heighten at this point? So this Arizona Cardinals football team, I think, is a rebuilding football team. And this is a football team that lost a lot, and they could possibly lose Budda Baker as well, as he requested a trade. So it's interesting to see where this Bears and Cardinals teams are going to be at this point of the season. And I believe the Cardinals are not a very good football team. I said that coming into last year, and I still believe that they are not a very good football team, and it's time for this team to kind of scrap and rebuild this roster. Next, we're going up against my older brother's favorite team. They're going up against the Atlanta Falcons, but this time it's going to be in the cold at home. And this is our last home game of 2023 against the Atlanta Falcons. And this Falcons team, what they're going to have at quarterback, I still don't believe Desmond Ridder is the guy. That's my opinion. They did sign Taylor Heineke in the offseason. Bijan Robinson, you have Kyle Pitts, Drake London, very good young core of talent against the Falcons and the solid offensive line. Defensively, I think the Falcons are going to struggle maybe a little bit. And I think at this point, the Bears are going to be at the position with Luke Getsy in his offense where he can take advantage of Falcons defense that, outside of A.J. Terrell, I just don't believe is a very solid defense. Even, I think also Jesse Bates, I cannot forget that. Jesse Bates signing was very, very good for this football team as well. Outside of those two players, I just don't think this Falcons defense is a very good defense in my opinion. And lastly but not least, the last game of the 2023 season, we're going up against those damn Green Bay Packers yet again on the road in the frigid cold of Lambeau Field. It's the rivalry. What more can you say about a game like this? It is the rivalry. Nothing else. I don't care if the Bears or whatever are both eliminated. It is the rivalry. Point blank, period. Love versus Fields Part 2. Let's get it. Last game of the season. Okay, so the part that you guys are waiting for, the win-loss total prediction of the Chicago Bears that I believe that they could have going into this 2023 season. Now, still early, so at this point, the improvements on offense and the offensive line with Darnell Wright. Wide receiver, Chase Claypool is implemented fully to a full offseason to get the rapport with Fields, DJ Moore, Darnell Mooney, Cole Kmet, Robert Tonyan. And then you have on the defensive side of the ball, they added Edmunds, Tremaine Edmunds. They added TJ Edwards. They added Andrew Billings up front. They added Javon Dexter. Tyreek Stevenson on the other side of the football as well, to go with Gordon, to go with Johnson, to go with Brisker and Eddie Jackson. This team, I believe, is right now a 7-10 football team. Now, we're going to see, I believe, improvements for both sides of the football. But I just think this team right now is still growing and it's still young on both sides of the football. So I believe there's going to be some growing pains within this season. We're going to expect better, and I think we're going to get better than we did in 2022. Barring health, of course, that is always a thing. But with this team constructed as it is now, with young pieces on both offense and defense that can all grow together, which I don't think this team right now is a playoff team just yet. I don't think they are a contending playoff team just yet, even though it could be a surprising team. I can see them being 8-9, but I'm going to say this is a 7-10 win Chicago Bears team heading into 2023. This is my way too early win-loss prediction. Now, that is going to conclude the episode and the season 6 of Chicago Bears Weekly. Make sure you leave you guys' thoughts on the schedule down below. Leave this video like as I continue to help this channel to grow and it beats the algorithm. And if you are one of the people that are not subbed, make sure you click the sub button and notification bell so you will not miss anything that I post. But I am signing out. Make sure you guys stay safe. Have a great and excellent day. And I will catch you guys in another video. Peace.